Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I'm preparing this presentation for you, and I hope it's worthy for the time that you will give to listen to it. Indeed, I'm going to give it all I got from within. To those of you who are the supporters of Donald Trump, you know, they have said, and I have repeated, that Donald Trump is evil, that he was the lesser of the two evils, but he has been made strong now by the support of the people who recognize Donald Trump as being the answer to the problems. I have said that. And people have said that because you support Donald Trump, you are the same, and I might have agreed with that. In fact, I do. But what I want to say to you is this, is that whether Donald Trump is evil or good as he is seen in your sight, the effects of Donald Trump and you and the rest of society is not the solution. There might be those of you who would hope that Donald Trump would be able to manifest some magnificent controls and just force people to act as though they agree with everything. But in your hearts, in Donald Trump's heart, you will know that it's not real. And everybody else who's being forced to do it will know that it's not real. And they will always have opposition to it. But you are not alone. There are those who supported Miss Clinton, as though Miss Clinton was the answer to all problems, and indeed she was called evil as well. And had they been able to draw out enough people and to save the Electoral College to their direction, then her evil would have been the magnificent evil on earth and here in America. Now, what she would have done might have been a little bit different than what Donald Trump is doing. But as far as its effect on America and America's position around the world, would it be any better? I, as spokesman of basic human rights for all people, say no. But at the same time, you, like those of Trump, you're not responsible for what you see. You came into this earth basically innocent. And your mindset right now has been conditioned by forces all outside of yourself that have been geared and trained to manipulate what happens inside of you to the degree that you accept this as being the way or this as being the way. But not even you stand alone. Because there are those who have seen things the way they are, and they have hoped, kept hope alive, that one day something would happen. And whether it came out of the sky unseen, or whether it came from a human being, or whether it came from anything, if it would just deliver them from the bondage that they experience every day, it would, hallelujah, be a grace, a step from God. But they believe that, and the truth of the matter is that that always continues just like everything else does. Nothing rises to the occasion. And so it doesn't matter who is in power here in America or any other place on the earth. When that kind of control is manipulated from the beginning, it will always exist unless there is a rebirth that captures the mindset of everybody, regardless of what their commitment has been to the social order, but recognizes that this indeed is what it's supposed to be, what it is dreamed of. And every person, though they may be in different economies, though they've experienced different cultures, they agree. Because people indeed want the same things out of life. If you ask anybody, what would they require out of life? Every last one of them would say that their dreams would come true. There is nothing greater than a desire and then a manifestation of dreams. Everybody wants this. And when you ask them, say, well, why don't you have your dreams? They will come up with all kinds of excuses, wherever they are on the totem pole of existence. Everybody has an excuse. And as we have just concluded, it is what we've been taught. But if you could have your dreams come true, what would that include? It would include that you would be able to do mostly everything that you want to do. And if somebody said, well, what would be required for you to do that? You would say money. Money. And somebody said, well, how do you get money? Then they would say, get a job that pays a lot of money. A job that gives you the kind of finances that you can go here, you can go there when you choose to. You can have the kind of lifestyle as far as your housing, your education, your community, and all of these things are concerned. Every individual would really want that. Every individual would really want that. But then you have to ask yourself, well, how do you get that? You say, well, with that money. And you say, well, what would top that? What else would top that? And then you would probably hear that if you had a job that you loved doing so much, it was not a job, but a fun thing. Wow. Wouldn't that be nice to have a job of your own choosing? A job that gives you all of the elations that your physical form can stand. Wouldn't that be fantastic? My. But everybody would want that. Not a human being on the face of the earth would want that. Wouldn't want that. And then you say, but these things don't exist, except for some who really got the big money that we would require also in order to. And you say, well, can everybody get that big money? Being honest about your education, you know that won't happen. You know that class structure exists and that there will always be jobs that pay a certain amount of money and some that will pay a small amount of money. And sometimes those jobs that pay great amounts of money doesn't require anything but having fun. You think about those kinds of things and you say, well, how can we? You've been told that separately you could do it, but you've seen that that does not work. You've seen communist countries that say that they are the better of government, and you know that's not true. You've seen governments that are of the socialist system, and you know that's not true. There are people run just like anybody else, and those who don't stay and live like old times. And you don't want that. Nobody wants it, but they find themselves being forced to live in a system for those who want to get out and those who have accepted this as the best way because of what they have been taught. And yet, none of these work. What about capitalism and democracy? Let's use the United States as a matter of fact. Is there any suffering going on in the United States from a lack of the resources for life? I'm sure we would all agree that's why we got two-party systems at least that split for those who got and hope and believe they can get, and some who think they got to struggle and fight. Not knowing because no one is giving the information that would feed both sides. All people just want the same things. They want peace, they want prosperity, they want joy, and in the midst of all of that, they want their dreams to come true. And yet we have not gotten to that point. We recognize that we want to be able to go and come when we want to. We recognize that we want to live a kind of life with our houses and our communities and our educational system, our medical facilities. We want to live at the highest order of that. No shortcomings anywhere. Each of us want that for ourselves, and when we do and compile that together, we find out that is the sentiment of everybody. And yet there are old voice that's been trained that say that it can't happen. And you got to know that if it's going to happen, there's going to have to be a change in that kind of thinking. And so somebody, somewhere is going to tell you the truth. And you got to be receptive to it because it's as easy as a child as far as understanding. And so that world will come to you and say, who amongst you refuse to have their dreams come true, just don't want it to come true, there will be no hands. Who amongst you want to live a life that's filled with pain and suffering? There will be no hands. Who amongst you will be willing to abuse others if it will profit you in a situation that the pain that they feel you will not have to feel? Will you raise your hand? And we know that there will be many hands. And those that are not seen that's under the desk are just raised the same. And then there are those who just don't care. But that all exists. That makes the world what it is today. But to make it better, how can we make it better? We know systems that exist in our day does not work. It doesn't matter whether a man is running it, a woman is running it, a white is running it, a black is running it, or anybody is running it. It still is shortchanging you, the people. And there got to be a way, since every last one of you want the peace, every last one of you want the prosperity, and every last one of you want the joy. So where is the answer? Where is it hiding? Where is that answer that can deliver us from Egypt? Where is that answer that can part that Red Sea and let us over in a promised land that will not just have us walking around for 40 and 40 and 40 years wondering what to do, but will lead us and guide us, and we will have the inspiration to stand up and build throughout our lives things like pyramids. Things that we see that we figure didn't happen in our day and in our time, and yet it exists. So I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I say to you, sisters and brothers, my God, I'm talking and you can't even see me. You know, it's the thing really got good. Wow. It really got good. The camera fell all down and I'm going out of this world. I'm sorry you guys couldn't see me, but you heard me. The Spirit was working with me right on that time. I am going to say to you that your dream can come true. But it will not be because someone else is going to do it for you. It's going to be because you did it for yourselves by deciding that you would participate in your life, and that you will be guided by a common rule that will work for you and work for everyone else. And that is that you are treated like you want to be treated, which means you act and treat others just like that, so they will know how you want to be treated. Now, that sounds all right to me. We do not live in a system that will permit us to do that. So we will have to make a conscious decision that we want that we got to change in order to get that. And we're not mad at anybody. We're not angry at the Republicans or the Democrats or the whites or the blacks or the groups that call themselves hate groups and those groups that call themselves lover groups. We're not mad at anyone. We are all a victim of that which we were born into, and we've carried it forward. But right now, like the prodigal son who went down that road and found out that, hey, this ain't the way I want to go. And I'm saying I don't want to go the way we're going. And I'm challenging you. I know you don't want to go the way you're going. I want you to know also that there's another way. And in it, you got the power. Now, I don't want to tell you of a system that works. At the moment you change your mind, you will see a system that works. And then you come up with that system. I don't want to tell you. I've told and mentioned it to you on 1,000 other tapes. But right now, I want to tell you this. It's on you. It's not on God, because the God has already made it. All you got to do is fit the footprints. All you got to do is step in step. The way to peace, you got to step a certain way. The way to prosperity for a nation, you got to step a certain way. And out of those two, you will have the joy guaranteed. Until next time, sorry about that mess up. It's on you. Bye-bye.